DCI tour is well underway this season. Life on the road, living in a bus seat, sleeping on the gym floor, working in 100-degree heat for 14 hours a day. It truly is one of the experiences of all time. Today I'm going to share my experience of when I marched in 2010 with Carolina Crowd! 2010 was my age-out year, as in the last year I was eligible to march in a DCI World-Class Corps, and I wanted to go out with the bang and march one of the top 5 drum corps. However, I did not feel like going out to a bunch of auditions, because I didn't feel like spending $100 for the audition fee and then another maybe $300 for a plane ticket to get to the audition just to get out there and maybe get cut. It's a gigantic waste of money. I'm sure most of you who tried out for DCI have experienced that. So I came up with this brilliant idea to just make an audition tape and send it out to a bunch of places, and in the tape I just had the choppiest and craziest stuff I could possibly play. I actually made a whole video about this audition tape. It's interesting to say the least. But it worked! I ended up getting a call from Carolina Crowd and they wanted me to come out to the next audition camp, and I ended up getting a spot there and saving like $400 to not audition. In DCI World Class they usually have one winter camp per month that will take place over the course of a weekend, and during these camps you will work on the exercises to build uniformity of technique and also get your chops up, and you'll also start to learn some show music. And my goodness, the 2010 Carolina Crowd show music, it was very difficult, very beefy beats. I remember the drum feature that we got at the camps. It was just this ram of 30-second notes, paradiddles, and it was really choppy and we were all just kind of struggling to get through it. Actually, let me see if I could play this now. So then we go off to spring training at Gardner-Webb University in North Carolina. The percussion section actually moved in a week before the rest of the corps to get some extra work done early, and also for the social experience. You know, we gotta have that tight bond throughout the season. So the quad line, we had DJ, Johnny, Mike, Chris, and myself. And all 5 of us were rookies, which is pretty crazy. You don't really see an all-rookie section very often in one of the top drum corps, but, well, that's where we were at, and we held it together. For the most part. I remember on the first day of move-ins, we were moving into the dorms at Gardner-Webb, and there were supposed to be 2 people in each room, so the quads would have been divided up into 3 rooms, but we couldn't stand to be apart from each other for any longer than we had to. So we decided to move all 5 of our beds into one room, and then use the empty rooms to work out in. Yeah, that's right, we worked out on breaks, and that didn't really keep up for that long because we started to realize that spring training was really freaking difficult and very exhausting. Every day you'd wake up and do PT, then you'd go to breakfast, then rehearsal, and then you had lunch, then rehearsal, then dinner, then rehearsal, and then snack, and then shower and lights out. Every single day for like 5 weeks straight, all in the extreme Carolina heat. This was brutal, dude, because, I mean, every single day you're just putting a lot of stress on your body and working out the same exact muscle groups, and yeah, it does a toll on your body. But you gotta push through it, alright? You gotta act like you're not tired when you are very, very tired, or else the drum staff is gonna call you out for being lazy or moving slow, which you do not want to get called out, especially for being lazy. Although for like the last week or 2 of spring training, the drum staff, they started letting us sleep in and skip PT in the morning, which was really, really nice. But shh, don't tell the horn line. They let us do that, okay? They might get jealous. My drum staff in 2010 was Paul, our tenor tech. We had Zach, the battery coordinator, and of course Lee, the percussion caption head. These guys were super duper serious, okay? They did not tolerate any screwing around, which was unfortunate for me because I really like screwing around. I mean, I take the playing very seriously, okay? I want to be as clean as we possibly could be, but, you know, I remember getting called out sometimes for just like goofing around or making dumb jokes, but that's just who I am and what I do. I remember this one time we were repping this chunk where the tenors, we just had a whole bunch of rest before our entrance, so I decided to add a vocal in, and the vocal was the entirety of the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song. Well, almost the entirety of it. There weren't quite enough counts to get through the whole song, so it was like the third to last pants of SpongeBob SquarePants, that was when our entrance was. So we sung the whole song up until that point. So we tried to add this vocal on the fly and everybody got lost and we completely blew up the entrance and ticked the rep and I got called out really hard and the vocal got cut, of course. In fact, we had a lot of vocals get cut during that year. That was kind of like the punishment. Like if we were ticking, our vocals would start getting cut. Like the snare line had this poop sex vocal that ended up getting cut. And the tenors, we had this grundle vocal that was also cut. I'm still upset that the grundle vocal got taken out. But our white mambo vocal, that made it all the way through to the end. Some people in the lot thought we were saying white power, and I assure you, we were not. It was white mambo. Anyways, our show was entitled A Second Chance, and ironically, we got a second chance to learn the first two movements of the show because they both got cut. I think because they couldn't get the copyrights or something to it. I don't remember. So yeah, everything we learned in the camps, the show music, the super hard paradiddle drum feature, a bunch of drill, it all got changed and we had to learn all the music in like 3 days. But we get it done because we are Carolina mother flippin' Crown. Family channel, guys. All right, family channel. The new beats were pretty cool, though. We got a 8-bar tenor feature, which had this really fast Spock roll at the end, and I also got to write my own 4-bar solo that I was gonna play in the show. It was like this little duet battle thing with Ashley, our center snare, and I put in just a bunch of super hard crossovers and visuals and all this craziness, and then it all got cut. No more solo, no more 8-bar tenor feature with the Spock roll. Everything is cut. Although they did leave in our little 4-bar mini trade-off features, so that's good. So finally, after a month of hard work, we got to put on our preview show for all the fans, and my goodness, this was quite a sight to see. The show itself went fine, it's just what I'm talking about is the uniforms. They were very weird. So the uniform was like this brown tannish combo, which looked fine, and actually this uniform was really, really comfortable. This is when like corps started transitioning out of like the really heavy wool jackets, and it was a very nice change of pace to march in that material. But the part that was kind of weird was that Crown was doing like this kind of fundraiser for I think breast cancer or something, and they had us wear a pink plume with the brown uniform. And to make it even weirder, our drums, we were supposed to get these brown drums in from Yamaha, but they didn't come yet, so we were still using the drums from last year, which were bright green. So yeah, we had a brown uniform with a pink plume and green drums. It was the weirdest looking color combo ever. And this was supposed to be like their uniform reveal for the public, so everyone thought that this was legit what we were gonna wear the whole season. We trolled them all. So then it's finally the moment we've been all waiting for, packing up and going on tour. The tour life is an interesting life for sure. You live in your little bus seat with as many snacks and Gatorades as you can possibly squeeze under the seat and in the overhead compartment. A few times a week you move your suitcase and sleeping bag into a new housing site, which is usually a high school gym. And whenever you see a convenience store or shopping center, you must go in to restock your snack supply. Snacks are a key component to a happy tour life. Sometimes the scheduling can be rough when traveling, though. We might have nights where we get on the bus at like 11 p.m. and then drive 6 hours to the next housing site and get 2 or 3 hours of floor time to sleep in the gym, and then you wake up for a sleep-deprived rehearsal. I hear that DCI has new policies nowadays that make sure the members get enough sleep and good. I'm sure that really enhances the experience overall, because there was a lot of days when I was marching when I just felt awful and tired. So anyways, the 2010 tour, we traveled all the way from Carolina to somewhere over here, I think, and then we went down here someplace and then back up around here, and then we ended over here. I honestly don't remember all the states that we ended up going to. I just knew when I had to be on the bus, I would get on and then get driven to wherever we were going. These were simpler times. I don't really remember any of the specific shows on tour either. I just remember that we got to play under the lights for the big crowd of everyone because Crown was always on last at the shows, which was really, really nice. I do remember this one lot warm-up. There was a guy wearing this shirt, and it was so distracting, dude. I was just looking at that guy's shirt thinking of how silly it was. This shirt's available on my merch store if you'd like to distract some performers in the lot yourselves. But my favorite shows were probably the ones where we got to play the encore, because we had this like Madonna medley arrangement as our encore, and this was so much fun. Also, our timpanist learned Fiora Elise and played that in the encore too. This was probably the sickest thing I've ever seen on timpani. Could be a challenge for Kyle's next video. I also apparently got a close-up shot on my face for a while during the DCI Tour premiere event, which was played in the movie theater. And by the way, I absolutely hate that DCI stopped doing their movie theater broadcast. That's really unfortunate. So we're about halfway through tour, and we had an unfortunate injury. My seat partner and fellow quad drummer Chris, he had to leave tour due to a knee injury. In fact, we had a lot of people get injured during this tour, more than normal. You might have noticed in these lot videos I've been showing that there are less people in the line as the season went on. That's because of injury. And there was also an injury during our finals performance, which we'll get back to that later. But when Chris left, that meant I got both of the bus seats in our row all to myself, so I expanded my real estate by 100%. But then Chris did end up coming back on tour to do some admin stuff. So while I lost my real estate, I gained a friend. So now we're about 3 weeks away from the end of the season, and we decided to cut the closing movement. More changes to the show, more cuts made. And this one wasn't because of copyrights, it's because they wanted a second chance to perform the closer from last year's show, which was a huge fan favorite. Get it? The show's a second chance, we're doing things the second time. So pretty much the entire show was rewritten from the time we learned it in the camps to what we performed at the end. Basically learned 2 shows out here. But remember, we're Carolina mother flippin' crown. We get it done. And there was a lot of hype over this new closer, well, the old closer, and all of the fans really appreciated that. So now we're at the San Antonio show, and this is where I would have done my I&E solo, if they let me do one. Yeah, Crown doesn't let their performers do I&E, which I think is insanely dumb. But, well, now nobody lets their chords do I&E because it's canceled completely. Yeah, DCI lied to us at the Rochester show last year, saying they're gonna bring back I&E. Yeah, my wall of I&E medals is forever stuck at 14 now. Ugh, that makes me sad. Anyways, the San Antonio free day was really, really fun. The quad line, we all hung out in the Riverwalk, and also we went into the Alamo. All you kids on DCI tour right now, you just experienced the San Antonio free day on Sunday of this week. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Then we headed up to Allentown, and this was basically my home show because I have a lot of family and friends that lives in that area, and I also encouraged everyone that was coming to the show to bring me snacks and Gatorade, because you can never have enough snacks and Gatorade. We had another free night in Allentown after our show, and the quad line we went to this go-kart place, and that was really, really fun. So now we're off to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis for prelims, semis, and finals. All of the months and months of hard work led us to this moment. But not gonna lie, I was really excited to just go home and be done with this. I mean, yeah, I was excited for finals and all that, but just being able to sleep in my own bed and do nothing all day, that was sounding more and more appealing. But the grind was still on, okay? Prelims, we woke up and had a rehearsal, had an excellent performance, and came in 4th. Semifinals, we woke up and had an amazing rehearsal with an even more amazing performance, and came in 4th. Then finals day was here. We woke up and had the best rehearsal of all season. We put on a spectacular show and came in 4th. The finals performance was really hype though. You could just hear like the wall of sound of the audience cheering, just blasting us in the face at every applause moment. It was pretty cool. But after we got off the field, our drum staff, they pulled us all aside and said that there was a pretty big incident on the field. And I was freaking out. Like, an incident? What? We're Carolina mother flipping crown. We're not supposed to have incidents, especially in finals. But what happened was, in the horn line, Ryan, who was also dealing with a stress fracture during the season, he broke his leg during the closer drill and had a real rough time trying to get off the field. Yeah, it was quite a fiasco. We had a bunch of our staff members, like, ran onto the field to go help him. People were, like, jumping out of the stands to get down there quicker. One of our bus drivers jumped off of the stands and broke his ankle when he landed on the field. It was just a complete mess. And somehow nobody in the drumline noticed that any of this was happening. We just went on and performed the rest of the show like everything was normal. We were all pretty shocked to hear what actually happened. And I talked about this in an older video, and I just noticed that Ryan commented in that video and apologized for ticking on finals. Dude, it's not your fault, man. I mean, honestly, if we were to blame anyone, I'd blame the training staff for letting you go out there with such a serious injury. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. But Ryan went back and aged out with Crown in 2012, and he's also been on their staff for several years and is currently the Corps' operations manager. Yay, happy ending to an awful story. So we were done performing, and all we had to do was go back out for retreat to find out that we came in fourth. The bass line, they built a penis out of their drums, and then we also had the age out ceremony, which was pretty cool. I got to hang out with some of my buddies that I marched surf with. And then we went back to the housing site and I threw away all of my rehearsal clothes because they were totally disgusting and sweat stained. And then I went home and slept for 15 hours a day and did not exercise a single minute. But I got so freaking skinny from marching that season. This is the skinniest whoa, Johnny with the 8-pack. Yeah, this is the skinniest I've ever been, and I guess that's what 14 hours of cardio every single day will do to you. So that's how my summer went in 2010. Memories to last a lifetime. I'm still mad that that Grundle vocal got taken out, though. Compose a comment if you have an interesting tour story. Click here for some more DCI-related content, and have a good morning.